They say every day is for the thief, one day for the owner of the house. But ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission, has reversed the role. It is now every day for the owner of the house. If you're involved in bribery, over-invoicing, or any shady deal, the day of reckoning has come. ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission, is watching you. If you're reported for any corrupt practice, you'll be investigated, prosecuted, and punished. Corruption is harmful to our nation. Join the campaign against it by reporting any corrupt practice to ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission.
Let we join hands with ICPC, make them better.
Let's make Nigeria great again.
ICPC, they watch you.
Come on, and for corruption.
Break the chain of corruption now. Don't give, don't take. This message is brought to you by ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission.
Bribery is the crime of giving and taking money or some other valuables in order to influence one's judgment in the performance of his or her duties. A bribe can consist of immediate cash or of personal favors, a promise of later payment, or anything the recipient views as valuable. This is our area of focus on today's edition. Welcome to Corruption Must Go, a production of the Public Enlightenment Department of ICPC. My name is Ruth Awodi. Also on today's edition, we have a segment on anti-corruption stories from around the world. We have ethics and values. We take responses from our social media platforms and many more. Hawasani Garba is standing by to bring us updates on the fight against corruption.
Thank you, Ruth. Welcome to this segment of your program, Corruption Must Go. ICPC has secured a 6-year jail term for a visa racketeer, Mr. Victor Charles Ndubeze. Mr. Ndubeze was charged to court by the Commission on a 3-count charge bordering on impersonation and forgery under Sections 132 and 363 of the Penal Code and punishable under Sections 132 and 364 of the 532 laws of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The case came up for judgment on 2nd May 2017, and the defendant was convicted on all the 3 counts by Honorable Justice Abubakar Sadiq Umar of the Federal Capital Territory High Court, sitting in Maitama, Abuja, and was subsequently sentenced to 2 years imprisonment on each of the counts, which would run concurrently. ICPC counsel Ekoye Akpos had told the court that Ndubeze had posed as a director in the Consular and Immigration Service Department of the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Abuja, to commit the offenses. He was said to have sent false documents via email while posing as Mr. Akinwumi Roxon, who is CISD Director to Ministry of Foreign Affairs, with the intention to hoodwink the Taiwanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs to offer him entry visas for 5 applicants via the Trade Mission of Taiwan in Abuja. The convict had also forged a letter of introduction from the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the name of Mr. Roxon to introduce the 5 applicants as journalists going to Taipei for a computer expo, whereas they were all automobile spare parts dealers resident in Aba, Abia State. A former deputy speaker and current member representing Jos North State constituency in the Plateau State House of Assembly, Honorable Ibrahim Baba Hassan, has been docked before Honorable Justice Usman A. Musali of High Court 31 of the Federal Capital Territory, sitting in Jabi, by ICPC for allegedly submitting a forged academic qualification to the Independent National Electoral Commission to contest in the 2015 State Assembly elections. The lawmaker, who is a 3-time member of the Plateau State House of Assembly, was said to have forged a diploma in business administration of the University of Jos, dated November 1996, and falsely inserted his name as one of the graduates in the order of proceedings of the 19th Combined Convocation Ceremony of the said university held on 26th and 27th April 2002, which he presented to ICPC investigators. Hassan, who contested the 2015 Plateau State House of Assembly election again and won, was arraigned on a 5-count charge of offenses bordering on forgery, lying under oath, intent to cause damage to the public, and making false statements with the intention to mislead. The accused person pleaded not guilty to the charges brought against him. The trial judge ruled that the administrative bail which was granted to the accused person by ICPC should subsist. The case has been adjourned to July 3, 2017 for commencement of hearing. For 6 years, the payment of the pension arrears of Mrs. Olaupa Deborah Olaremi, a retiree of the Federal Civil Service, was delayed by the Pension Transition Arrangement Directorate, PTAD. All efforts made by the retiree to have a benefit paid met a brick wall until she decided to report the matter to ICPC. In her petition to the Commission, Mrs. Olaremi alleged that PTAD had refused to pay her federal pensions arrears for 6 years for what she called reasons best known to them. Investigation into the matter by ICPC did not reveal any infraction of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000 by PTAD. Nevertheless, the Commission's intervention as part of its policy of providing redress for the weak and the voiceless in the society yielded a positive outcome for Mrs. Olaremi. The sum of 2,154,810 naira, 84 kobo, owed the pensioner for 6 years was computed and paid into her Sky Bank account by PTAD. In a telephone conversation with an ICPC official, Mrs. Olaupa Olaremi praised the Commission for coming to her rescue, saying that she had not expected the matter to be resolved so quickly. She stated that her faith in Nigeria had been rekindled by the level of professionalism and efficiency displayed by ICPC operatives on the matter. Thank you. Back to Ruth.
Wetin dey ṣẹlẹ̀ for Nigeria? Promo no dey for corruption in Nigeria.
My country people, na ogbonge talk I carry come for una, so make una listen. Make una listen o. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) no dey see, hear, or even feel corruption at all. Make you say no to corruption. Make you report any person wey do mago chuacho or person wey collect ogunje to ICPC. No fear, ICPC go protect you. Make you sef no give or collect bribe, because if you do am, one hand you go land yourself for kirikiri. ICPC dey for all the ministries and schools wey dey for we country Nigeria. My brother, my sister, make you join hand with the anti-corruption crusade for we school and for we working place. Chuachua and mago na big cry wey no go do us better. ICPC go wele you anytime, anywhere where you put your head. Make you hear, if you break the law too go break you.
Join hands with ICPC. Come in Nigeria.
ICPC no gree corruption for Nigeria. Sam.
When a public official accepts bribe, he or she creates a conflict of interest. That is, the official cannot accommodate the interest of another party without compromising the responsibilities of his or her position. Since its inception in the year 2000, ICPC has arraigned many public servants, including judges, magistrates, directors, security operatives, among many others, who were caught in sting operations after demanding and collecting bribes. A sizable number of such accused persons have been convicted and sentenced to various terms of imprisonment. Sections 8, 9, 10, 13, 17, 18, 21 and 22 of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000 outlaws the soliciting, demanding, and or receiving of bribes, and anyone found guilty for violating any of the sections shall be guilty of an offense. Let's see how many Nigerians are aware of this.
Please, what do you understand by the word bribery?
Yeah, bribing in Nigeria. When somebody give you maybe like your salary, you know your salary, and you need to help somebody. When you want to help somebody in the office, it's okay, like passing the file to another file. They say, okay, give me something before I pass your file. It's already bribe. You hear what I'm saying now? Like just like a race safety, or then you stop me on the way when I'm driving. The next office you take me to the office to do proper thing. They say, okay, give me some money so I can allow you to go. That is bribery.
But do you know that bribery is an offense?
Yes, question, very well offense. Very well offense. When you take something that does not belong to you, if it's like the government parasata, it's a bribery. What you depend is if it's a salary, there's no bribe. But if you take any money from the office, it's a bribery.
Have you ever given bribe before?
Yes, and I'm a lawyer, which properly I cannot do that. When I go to a police station, the police will ask me for money. I say, no, I cannot give you money. The bail is free. When you go to a police station, you will say, oh, barrister, give me something. I say, no, I cannot give you because bail is free. I cannot give somebody money.
But have you ever come across somebody demanded for a bribe for him?
Yeah.
Or a file to be pushed?
Yes, I did. There's a case I write petition to the CP. Somebody say he want to have a job in NECO. That my client, he says she bring 5.5 million. So I write petition to the CP. That is a bribe. And as I'm telling you, the police do properly well, get her arrested. And it's the police custody. That is a bribe.
Yes, your advice to Nigerians who don't know that it is a crime to refuse.
Yes, what I can say now to Nigeria, like people search for a job. Somebody will say that I want to give you a job. Bring 200,000, then I'll give you a job. Don't do that. When God wants to give you a job, he must surely give you a job. Just relax and wait for your time. The job must surely come. Don't give anybody money before getting a job. It's fully bribed.
What do you understand by the word bribery?
Well, bribery is just maybe a reward given to somebody for doing something that is not proper and not in line with the laid down rules. And what follows it up is the corruption. When somebody has a mind to comply through a reward, then the two now work together to become bribery and corruption.
Have you ever been involved in any bribery transaction?
Well, for transaction, I wouldn't say yes. I don't think there is any way. But there are so many attempts in the sense that somebody can give a word that please do this for me, I will see you. One can easily reject that. So I've faced a lot of that, but I have not really participated in any one.
Okay, a lot of Nigerians get involved in bribery and they don't even know that it is even against the law to report bribery cases to the anti-corruption agencies. What is your advice to Nigerians, especially those who are fallen victims, that for you to move my file to the next officer, I must give you this? What is your take on that?
You see, my take-off is that there must be enlightenment, very serious one, especially ICPC, EFCC, and other agencies that are involved in fighting this bribery and corruption. And then there is going to be also this Servicom aspect, and the civil service and everywhere. They also play a role. So there should be a very serious or rigorous action on the issue of enlightenment. People will become aware. I'm sure people don't know what they are doing if something like this comes to them. They don't know whether it's bribery or it's corruption. And that's why most of them are falling victims into that.
Okay, sir. Sometimes you even find government officials, without them demanding, you will see people will come and patronize them. That, okay, take this. You ask them for what they say, it's just a gift. Do you think that is right?
Well, it's the orientation they have carried it all along. The orientation has been there in their system. So anywhere they go, they feel they should make attempt first. If the person accepts it, then that means the two of them are the same thing. But if the other one decide not to accept, then that person will not feel comfortable to approach anybody again. So I still believe that if there is so much orientation, both the giver and then the person who also asks for will definitely fall in line.
It's the act of giving or receiving funds in order to do something or to carry out a job that you're not supposed to be paid that stipend for. For example, in public offices, bribery occurs when you're looking for a job. I'm a graduate, I'm serving. Let's say, for instance, I'm out there looking for a job. A lot of public officers you meet to submit your CVs, they might require for you to pay something in order to get you a slot in that office. And it's not really going to be 100% assurance that you're going to get, but just to have your name on the waiting list, you have to pay. That is a simple example of when bribery
Okay, have you ever
takes
given
place.
a bribe to get what you want, or has anyone ever solicited for a bribe from you, and what was your reaction?
Yeah, well, I think for me giving bribes, well, I'm a Nigerian, so you're a Nigerian. To be honest, I think at some point in time, every Nigerian has given or received bribe, directly or indirectly. Probably you might be forced to do it. Someone might force your hand because you might be in need of something, and then you find yourself, because it is the order of the day. Sad to say, but yeah, I have. And then in the aspect of receiving, no.
But you know that it is against the law to give or to receive.
Yeah.
And it is even against the law failure to report any
Act of bribery.
bribery. Are you aware that it is?
I'm
and
aware.
If you are aware, what will you call on Nigerians who are today victims of these daily demands are for you to get employment, you must give me this, for you to get admission, you must give me this. What will you advise millions of Nigerians who are daily victims about this issue?
Well, first, my advice will go to the government. I think they should fortify their policies on whistleblower acts and witness protection programs to cover those who are going to report bribes, any bribe or any corrupt acts. We need laws to guide or cover these people against these people that they're trying to report. Because if peradventure you're trying to blow a whistle on someone in public office, the person has power and the funds to frustrate your life. So a lot of people, even if they would like to, as much as they would like to report any corrupt act, they are scared of the repercussions.
It must be noted that both the recipient and the giver of a bribe can be charged for felony, and if found guilty, would be made to face the full wrath of the law. We spoke to Mr. Golden Iwagu of ICPC's Prosecution Department on the legal implications of bribery.
Thank you for joining us on Corruption Must Go.
You're welcome.
What is bribery?
Well, the word bribery, simply means an offer made to a person in authority or trust in order to influence the person, induce the person into taking a decision, that will favor the giver. Like I said, it can also be solicited. The person to whom a bribe is offered can also ask for it. But the entire essence is to ensure that judgment, decision is swayed in favor of the person giving. So that, in a nutshell, is what bribery is all about.
So which section or provision of the ICPC Act frowns at bribery?
Well, it would be interesting to know that the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000 does not actually define the word bribery. But it defines corruption that corruption includes bribery, fraud, and other related acts. However, the act uses the word gratification, which, if you look at the intended meaning, is also the same as bribery. So you will find that in the wordings of the act, you hardly find the use of the word bribe, but you see uses that intends bribe. And so you will find that in several sections of the act, you will see anyone who solicits, anyone who offers reward, money, donation, job, office, dignity, employment, for the purpose of favoring or giving an advantage to someone against or above others, that person is said to have committed the offense as listed in the section. So the word used in the act is gratification, which for the purpose of the act means the same thing as bribery. So you find in section 8 of the act, section 9 of the act, section 18, the side margins actually uses the word bribery. However, when you read the content, what is used therein or given out is the art of offering something in order to influence the judgment that a person in position or authority can give. So, in a nutshell, section 8, section 9, section 10, sections 18, 20, 21, 22 are some of the sections that frown seriously at the giving or offering of a bribe.
So if that is the case, does the ICPC law prescribe punishment for refusal to report bribery transactions?
Yes, good enough. The Act in section 23 provides that as a public officer, like I've defined, a person in a position of trust or authority, if offer of bribe is made to you, you are under obligation. It's a statutory requirement. You are under obligation under the Act to report either to an officer of the ICPC or to the nearest police station. If you fail to do so, an offense is said to be committed. And of course, the proof of it will, the consequence is imprisonment. So the law or the ICPC Act seriously in section 23 frowns at refusal, neglect to report the offer of a bribe from anybody.
How many years?
It's 3 years. 3 years imprisonment.
Okay.
Yes.
Has there been anyone that has been convicted? Do you have any?
Yes, there is a case, although it's still on appeal, but it has gone through the High Court and the Court of Appeal. In that case, it was a police officer. It was a sting operation, but in the course of his defense was that an offer of bribe was made to him, which he failed to report. So the commission quickly amended the charge to include that. And of course, he was convicted on that and was sent to prison. But as I speak now, I think he's done serving his prison term. He was sent to prison and he appealed. The Court of Appeal upheld the judgment of the trial court. He has also further appealed to the Supreme Court. The matter is yet to be heard. But so far, based on the judgment of both the High Court and the Court of Appeal, we have, as it were, someone, a Nigerian, convicted for refusal, a public officer, for refusing to report offer of bribe to him. Yeah.
Does the ICPC law prescribe punishment for refusal to report bribery transactions?
Yes, in section 23 of the ICPC Act, like I've said, if offer of bribery is made to you, you are expected, a public officer is expected to report. Failure to do that, a trial will ensue. Person will be prosecuted for refusal to report the offer of bribe. And then if the person is convicted, the law prescribes 2 years imprisonment or fine not exceeding 100,000, or both fine and imprisonment. So either of them, that's the prescription of the law.
Okay.
Yes.
country people, now ogbonge talk I carry come for una so make una listen. Make una listen oh, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) no they see, hear or even feel corruption at all. Make you say no to corruption. Make you report any person wey do mago chuacho or person wey collect ogunje to ICPC. No fear, ICPC will protect you. Make you self no give or collect bribe, because if you do am, one hand you go land yourself for kirikiri. ICPC dey for all the ministries and schools wey dey for we country Nigeria. My brother, my sister, make you join hand with the anti-corruption crusade for we school and for we working place. Chuachua and mago na big crime wey no go do us better. ICPC go wele you anytime, anywhere where you put your head. Make you hear, if you break the law too go break you.
Join hands with ICPC. Done in Nigeria.
ICPC no gree corruption for Nigeria. Sam.
That's our package on this week's edition of Corruption Must Go. You can watch this program through our YouTube channel www.youtube.com/ICPC Nigeria. You can also get in touch with us via our social media platforms as displayed on the screen. Thank you for being a part of this program. See you again next week. I am Ruth Awudi.